We are a nation of slave moralists. Nietzsche was right. We are indeed Foucault's disciplinary society. We want more than anything in the world to be told. Told what to do, told what to wear, told what to think and how to be entertained. Told what to believe, how to style ourselves, even worse, how to care for ourselves. We are great voids with a surface layer of social graffiti. The few of us who recognize all this are too outnumbered to do anything about it. So you could construct it that democracy is a failure. But now, if you're one of the absolute slaves, it's far from failure. You envision yourself as a free-thinking individual who just happens to fall in line with everyone else. Your opinion is equal to everyone else's, both in value and substance. And if you're not one of these absolute slaves, it has very much been a failure. By granting equal value to the voice of complete drones, we have negated the value of our substance. We might as well have the exact same voices as drones. And that would be the exact same voices saying the exact same things. And it's not to bash the idea of equality. When you really get down to it and remove all non-arbitrary forms of substance, at the very basic level, the human being, we are equal, regardless of arbitrary differences of race, religion, sexuality, etc. Ultimately, it comes down not to any of all that, but it comes down to the creativity needed to develop substance. If we are all Xerox copies of Xerox copies, then obviously very little creativity was necessary to develop such substance. And we shouldn't fool ourselves. We are more Xerox copy than anything else. We may have minor differences here and there, but for the most part we are disciplinary. Even the function of some of our human sciences is disciplinary. Just look at mainstream psychology. Look at the whole Dr. Drew drug rehabilitation culture. What used to be a question of individual behavior has been made into a social problem by first making it an individual psychological illness and then showing how this causes the rest of us quote-unquote problems. We don't ever actually question the actual science. Never mind the fact that it's got a history of just absolute absurdity. For example, if homosexuality had not been taken out of the DSM back in the 70s or whenever, you would see rehabilitation centers for homosexuals. Which you still kind of see that, but it'd be mainstream science. But we often assume that any use of a non-socially approved intoxicant means that the user of said intoxicant must have an addiction to be crazy enough to want to use it, which is weird because when you look at it objectively, alcohol probably is one of the more dangerous substances. But now, there may be actual medical symptoms of addiction, but addiction does not belong in the DSM. If there are medical symptoms of addiction, and it is a medical issue for certain individuals, then there should be an actual medical solution, such as Suboxone therapy. These rehabilitation models that are based in behaviorist psychology are absolute bullshit. Pure mythology, power, knowledge, and social control. That's all it is. But because we tend to be non-reflexive in our approach to science, we view it as being just as valid as physiological approaches, which have observable data to back them up, rather than just opinions of that's pathological behavior. And even worse, often we view behaviorist models as more valid forms of rehabilitation, and that's just fucking slave morality at its goddamn peak.